Hello. So we're going to do distributive property and combined like terms now. You always do distributive property first. That's multiplication, followed by combining like terms, which is just addition. So just like GEMS would tell us, multiplication is going to go before addition is. So let's take a look here. It looks like we need to do distributive property to two things. It's pretty much a dead giveaway when you see parentheses around something, because most of the time in algebra you're not going to actually be able to do anything inside the groupings. They're going to be unlike terms. So I see parentheses, I see more than one thing's in parentheses, it's something on the outside. So we know we've got some distributive property. We're going to distribute the 7 here, and now be careful here, we're not just distributing the 5. Remember, the term is -5, so the whole thing gets distributed. Just like this has a positive out front, the whole thing will be distributed. So 7 times 1 is 7. Positive times negative is negative. 7 times 9 is 63, and we have k. Negative times a positive is negative. 5 times 4 is 20 with a k. And negative times positive is negative. 5 times 7 is 35. All right, so we've done the distributive property. Next thing is combine like terms. So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4 terms. You do not have to always circle your terms. Some of you might feel comfortable doing this at the beginning while you're getting used to finding and identifying your terms. But once you clearly see that there are 4, this is just an extra step that you don't have to do, okay? All right, so a K and a K, those are like terms. I'm going to do those before the numbers that are standing alone, because remember we call those a constant and they constantly go at the end. So we have negative and negative, so that's going to give us a lot of negatives. So negative 63, 73, 83, K. And then I'm going to combine my consonants. I know I said consonants, and I meant to say my constants. Don't know why I went 2 letters all of a sudden there. Okay, so we have more negatives, so we're going to write the negative down. And I'm going to take 7 away from that, so that's what, 30, 28? 28. And we are finished. All right, looking over at the next one. We're going to go ahead and distribute the 10 out, and we're going to distribute the negative, which is really a -1. So 10 times x will give us 10x, and then we have a -10 times 2 is 20. And the negative will change the sign from a positive to a negative, and from a negative to a positive, because a positive times a negative is a negative, and a negative times a negative will be a positive. All right, so we want to combine our like terms. I see I have 10x and a -x. So if I have a positive 10 and I have a -1, it'll give us positive 9x. Then we're going to do our constants. So we've got our -20 and a positive 4. So we have more negatives than positives. How many more? It looks like 16 more, and that will be our end answer. For this word problem, we have the dimension of a rectangle are shown below. Use the formula P equals 2L plus 2W to find its perimeter in simplest form. So what does the P stand for? Hopefully you remembered. P stands for perimeter. What about the L and the W? What do those stand for? Well, that would be length and width. So we have to go over here and decide which one's going to be the length and which one's going to be width. It doesn't matter which one you choose. I'm going to go ahead and make this one the length, and I'm going to make this one the width. But it wouldn't matter if you chose them in the opposite way, okay? Now, the question is, why is there a 2 in front of the L and a 2 in front of the W? Well, perimeter means the we have to add all of the edges together, right, to find out how long the perimeter is. Well, we don't just have one length, we have two lengths, and we don't have just one width, we have two widths, and that's why we multiply them both by 2. So all we're going to do is use substitution. Substitution is used a lot in math, a lot in algebra. So we really have to know how to substitute things, and we don't always substitute, say, w equals 3. That's nice and easy. But in algebra, we're going to see polynomials a lot. So just get used to that, okay? So we have p equals 2. Take out the L and replace it with 4x plus 7. Plus 2. Take out the w and replace it with x minus 5. All right, now we're just going ahead and we're going to solve it like we did up above. So distribute the 2 out and distribute this 2 out. So we end up with p equals 2 times 4x is 8x, 2 times 7 is 14, 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. All right, what's left? We did distributive property, and now we combine like terms. So I see an x here and an x here, so those are like terms. So we'll add those together, and we have 10x. And then I see a constant here and a constant here. More positives than negatives, and it looks like we have 4 more positives. So here's our end answer. Now, yes, I know this is one of the strange things about algebra. It says to find its perimeter in simplest form. And I know an answer like this can sometimes look like, well, I don't know what that means. It doesn't look like anything, right? Because you're probably used to saying, well, the perimeter equals 28 or something. This is how a lot of answers are going to look in algebra. We don't have all the information to know exactly what the perimeter is because we don't know what the x equals. It didn't tell us anywhere in here. So that's a typical answer in algebra. So that's just something we have to adjust to, okay? I'll see you on the next video.